Hi, lovely, and welcome to More Than the Glass, a space for honest conversation about motherhood, alcohol, identity, and reconnecting with yourself. I'm Karen,
And I'm Gillian.
and wherever you are on your journey, you are so very welcome here because we deserve more. So, today we wanted to talk about alcohol free drinks. Now, these are far more than just a substitute, and indeed they could also be a really powerful emotional and practical support tool during highly charged events like, I guess, what we're going through at the moment with the World Cup.
Yeah, I think highly charged is the best way to describe
Yeah,
these events, aren't they? There are
absolutely.
like, I mean, we talked about in the last episode why they can be so emotional and
Yeah,
that alcohol has maybe piggybacked or hijacked big events like the World Cup.
yeah,
But ultimately, it is what it is. They are emotional, they are intense. There's the anticipation, there's the fallout at the other end, or the
yeah,
celebration at the other end. Like,
yeah.
and this is going to go on for, was it like a month it goes on for?
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, depending how successful we both nations are, obviously.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is
It
absolutely. Yeah, it's like you say, it's the build up, the anticipation. It's during, and then it's like afterwards, whether it's celebration or commiseration. It encapsulates the whole lot.
Yeah, and those emotions are the triggers, aren't they?
Yeah,
That's what for many years, not just the kind of routine side of
no,
it, but the those emotions, place them in any situation, place them in any event, they're the things that very often trigger a drink.
absolutely. And I think we're obviously talking about it in context of the World Cup, but when we're talking about alcohol-free drinks, when we're talking about the emotions, the triggers, everything that's associated with it, this spans across any big event, like any kind of thing. So even if football's not your thing, like will still be relatable for you. So
Yeah, totally. It is the you put those emotions in your situation, whatever that may be, and that's often why they can become dead difficult.
yeah,
I have to admit, in the last few weeks or months rather, like football has still been a big trigger for me. I'm nearly 6 years alcohol free. And at the weekend, like 2 weekends ago, when it was Celtic in the league, I was like, I was up to high door, and me and my friend joked about how I used to turn up with a big, massive carry out, and this weekend I turned up with like the calories. I had, you want to see the chocolate and the crisps. I had so much alcohol free drinks. I had these wee cans, I had this bottle, I had beers. Like I was like tooled up basically
yeah,
in alcohol free drinks and food because I know now 6 years down the line what events or what things I still find
yeah,
difficult. There's other areas of life that I'm like, I don't find it difficult anymore. I
no,
know it, I get it. But for me, football is
yeah,
still one of them. And like that Scotland Denmark game when we had to get that result in order to qualify, I knew I wouldn't drink, but I was saying a drink would be really good right now.
yeah. Yeah, but what you did do is so you know that you've got that insight and you prepared yourself for that scenario by, I mean, literally buying out most of M&S's picky bits and alcohol free drinks.
I couldn't eat my dinner when I got home that night because I did
But you
so
do what
much.
you got to do, right? Because you know that that's going to be like a triggering situation. And I think again, we talk about how these emotional situations, and for us, for both of us, football is one of those like triggering emotional situations where alcohol is entwined into that, and we've kind of got that like relationship with it. And it's sort of similar to you. So last weekend, so I'm a Tottenham fan, as I've said before, and we have had like a horrific season. Like ours has been emotional, an emotional roller coaster for all the wrong reasons. We've had 3 managers. Like it got to the last game of the season, and it was between us and West Ham, who was going down to the Championship. We do not belong in the Championship. We've got the best ground, the best facilities in the world, in my opinion. Like we that was not a place for us to be, but. We had it was we had to win the game. Like it was our whole fate was on this game. And oh my God, I don't think I could have sat in that stadium like kudos to every real fan that sat in that stadium, because I tell you, I would have found that so hard. It was bad enough sat watching it at home. Like my nerves were shot to bits. I could feel my heart like pumping and pumping. Like it was, such an emotional response to what I was watching. I was
And
completely.
did you want to drink at it, or is it not?
It would have been so much easier to have drunk, because it would have just numbed those feelings and taken the edge off of those feelings. I know that wouldn't have been the case, but that it's still that pathway and that like mindset has been built, hasn't it? I wouldn't have done. Like I know 100% now I wouldn't crack, and that's fine. But you still get that urge maybe, or those feelings associated with it, because these feelings are uncomfortable. And I'm sure people listening to this will be like, for goodness sake, really, really, girls, it's football. But it's emotionally intense, and you're so heavily invested in it, and you care about it. And the easier thing would have been to grab a drink and just like numb those feelings. But instead you go along with it, and actually the euphoria, fortunately, that came after it was kind of worth it. But you feel like you've been through the ringer.
That's actually the way to describe it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not just the 90 minutes of the game. There's people round about you, and you're absorbing all their energy and their excitement, and the media, and like how busy, if you're in the stadium or in a pub, or just with your kids, like there's people to be thingied as well. Like it's just.
And I think that's why alcohol has perfectly attached itself to football, because it's so emotional. So, like I said, it's the numbing of the nerves, the calming of the anxiety. You know, if we'd have gone down, I mean, that doesn't even bear thinking about, but it would have been like the commiserating, like the celebrating. And you know, we've both done that. Like we have both used alcohol in that scenario where, you know, as you said, the anticipation leading up to it, because you're nervous watching the game, all of the emotions like going through it, and then after, whether you've won, whether you've lost, you drink either way.
Yeah, it really is a tough one, but I think that's why an alcohol-free drink can be such a good practical tool. Like it's something. Like when I'm nervous, I'm like dead jittery in my hands and all that. Like they bite nails, like touch your hair, all that kind of stuff. So you have an alcohol-free drink in your hand, right? So there's that like physical sensation. There's something to sip on. Like it helps you socially. Like, I think you feel included in the group. Whatever setting you're in, you can access them now, and it's just that hydrating, like whatever, do you know what I mean? Like having something in your hand at that point when the nerves are really, really jittery is just, it is a practical tool as well.
It really is. And I think for both of us, I mean, we both used to smoke as well, right? So, you know, when you give up smoking, I think that's something as well, isn't it? It's like, what do I do with my hands? What do I do with my hands? Like, because you're used to that habit. And I think, again, it's the same with the alcohol, isn't it? It's like trying to, make sure that you're still feeling comfortable and have got that kind of safety net.
Yeah, definitely. It was, and that's why I went for all the sweeties and all the chocolate and everything at the
Yeah,
weekend as well, because it was like that hand to mouth thing. You
yeah,
think I'm so far down the line, like
yeah.
it's 6 years, even longer smoking, but this thing in my having something in my hand just to kind of keep me keep me going. I just didn't realize how powerful
Yeah.
that it was. It just had gave you something and like I'm kind of waffling on about it, but it was if I didn't have a glass in my hand and drinking, I was like shoving crisps and dip in my mouth.
But this is the thing, isn't it? Like you say, like 6 years down the line, I mean, still these things, yeah, they're still there. They don't disappear, but you know the tools to put in place to kind of like support in those times and in those moments,
Yeah.
which is, I think, why we think, we believe that alcohol-free drinks are so powerful. If you've got that alcohol-free drink in your hand, it's kind of, it makes you feel like you're still part of it. It's socially I don't know, it feels more, you feel like you're being more socially accepted. You look like everybody else. You've got a drink in your glass. It kind of removes that awkwardness again, like you said, of like having something in your hand. And also I think if you've got something in your glass, and actually no one, I mean, unless they go and buy the drink for you, no one really knows what it is. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a beer in a glass, or you've got a lot of the bottled beers look the same, if you've got gin, whatever it is in your glass, no one's going to bloody ask questions about it, are they? But you just feel more comfortable to anyone around you. You're literally, you're having a drink like everybody else. So it kind of just like removes any awkwardness, and you just feel like you're fitting in, and not standing out. I mean, these are all things we're just telling ourselves, because actually no one else cares what you're doing. They're
No.
too engrossed in what they're doing themselves. But I think in our own heads, it just does make you feel more comfortable, more accepted.
Yeah, absolutely. When you were thinking back to the last episode, we were talking about how a football match can be just about the time with family and the time with friends, whether
Yeah.
that's like in the living room, out the back garden when if the games
Exactly.
are on. Ours won't be out the back garden because of the stupid time of night they are. But like,
No.
or in the pub, you are there for the people. You're there to connect with those people. And if you're a bit worrying about what people will say or what people will think or whatever because you're trying to give up alcohol, just having that glass in your hand, it just makes you feel like you're still part of it. You're still part of that experience. And you're not being left out. I mean, it's crazy to think that that's what defines whether we're in or out of the crowd. But it is. That's just that. It's so entrenched that that's the way it is. So having that drink, as you said, after unless they're buying it on one drink down, nobody actually cares. It just makes you feel part of that.
It does. Completely, completely, completely.
And the quality and the quantity of alcohol-free drinks available is like off the charts now. Like I'm shocked and a bit raging if I go into a pub or a restaurant that doesn't have a selection. I mean, if somebody tells me it's Heineken or Buick's Blue, I'm livid. If that's the lot, that's just a lazy option.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you drink wine, there's now stuff there. There's like a chuck it in a wine, put a softer drink in a wine glass, beers, everything's there. There's plenty of options to take to somebody's house. There's plenty of options in bars as well. So that's taken care of. I did just do a wee reel like the other night there about I phoned the restaurant I was going to on Saturday and asked them what they had as well. So find out what you got, plan it,
Yeah.
know what you're going to drink. That does make it a lot easier for you to just ask, doesn't it?
It really does. I'm used to having to pre-plan when I go out socially because I am like gluten-free. I have to like pre-plan every time I go out for a meal, just to know that I can be catered for and that kind of thing. And it's exactly the same with alcohol-free. Like you just. We both, like you say, we just like check out the menu, Again, just to know what's going to be available. And again, because I mean, if I turn up to somewhere and all they've got is alcohol-free beer, that's no good for me. Like I can't have beer. So you need to be giving me something different. You need to be giving me a different option. That's a lazy option. So yeah, shan't be drinking anywhere that's the only thing available. So
yeah, they're just definitely. The market is really good now, actually. When I was pregnant, it was Bexblue and that was your lot.
oh no, yeah, terrible. It's terrible. And I think, alcohol-free drinks, you've got all of the benefits, haven't you? You've still got that ritual, you've got that taste, because as we've said, they are so much better quality now. People tell me that the alcohol-free or Guinness Zero is just as good as the original. You can get some really nice quality products now. You're socially included. You've got that kind of relaxation cue as well. And also, if you're drinking something nice in a nice glass, you kind of still feel like you've got that treat feeling, that you're still, spoiling yourself a little bit with that. But you've also got none of the negatives. So you've not got the regret, the blackouts, the hideous hangxiety that used to follow me around, again, if you're in highly charged situations like football, it could be arguments, and poor sleep, forgetting even what you've watched, forgetting the game and the key moments, and that emotional fallout as well. You having all of the benefits and then none of the negatives, so you basically get all of the upside and none of the drama associated with it. You can just go out and have a really enjoyable night and then just still have a good time and not have to live through any of that regret after. Which, I mean, what more could you want?
No. It does feel like, and it is important to say that alcohol-free drinks aren't for everybody. I know there's probably in the 12 steps, in certain recovery programs, don't advocate for alcohol-free drinks. This is just another example of why this is our personal experience that we bring here on this podcast. Exactly. For me, they were a game changer, and we'll probably talk more about how the role they can play in the early days as opposed to just these big events. In our circle, we've had so many different experiences, haven't we? We've had some who are stocked up day and night with alcohol-free drinks, and we've had other women who have just been like, no, that's not for me. I don't want them. I don't need them, or indeed, I don't like them. So this is just a perfect example of take the tools or take the opinions that you wish and leave the others aside. Exactly. But we personally think that right now, with the World Cup going on, that these are a perfect way so that you don't miss the atmosphere, but you get to protect your peace.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. It's an individual journey, isn't it? But these are just a few tools that we want to share with you. Take it or leave it. It's just, as I say, just our own personal experience and beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely. Fine. Okay. Well, thanks so much for listening today, and we hope this episode has left you feeling seen, supported, and reminded that you don't have to do this alone. If anything in this episode has resonated with you, and if you're curious about what more could look like, you can find us at our circle. Until next time, take gentle care of yourself, because we deserve more.